Shalom Aleichem Hala viewers. This shiur is dedicated to the memory of Racheleah Bas Rav Chaim Tzvi. This week's Parsha is Parshat Chayei Sara, which talks about Sarah's death and burial. And following that tale, we are told the tale of Eliezer's mission to find a wife for Yitzchak, Abraham's son, how he meets Rivka and brings Rivka back to marry Yitzchak. So that is the topic I would like to discuss, specifically Avraham's mission for Eliezer and the conversation they have when Avraham sends him to find a wife for his son. Please turn to chapter 24, Perek Chaf Daled, verse 1. V'Avraham zaken ba bayamim, v'Hashem beirach es Avraham bakol. Now Avraham was old, well on in his years, and Hashem had blessed Avraham with everything. Verse 2. V'yomar Avraham el abdo, zakan beiso, hamoshel b'chol asher lo. And Avraham said to his slave, the elder of his house, who controlled all that was his, Simna yatcha tachas yirechi, put your hand under my thigh. Vashbiacha b'Hashem elokei hashamayim v'elokei haaretz, and I will make you swear by Hashem, the God of the heavens and of the earth, asher lo tikach isha livni mibnos haKnani, that you should not take a son for me from the daughters of Canaan, asher anochi yoshev b'kirbo, that I am living among them. Ki al artzi v'amaladati telech, rather go to my land and to my birthplace. V'lakachta isha livni liYitzchak, and you should take a wife for my son, for Yitzchak. The first question that arises is, how does the first verse of this topic relate to the following verses? In verse 1, we are told that Avraham is old, and God blessed Avraham with everything. So how does that connect to Avraham sending Eliezer to find a wife for Yitzchak? Let's see how Rashi answers this question. Beirachas Avraham bakol, had blessed Avraham with everything. The word for everything is bakol. Rashi says, bakol ole b'gematria ben. The numerical value of bakol is the same numerical value of the word for ben, which is son. Umechar shaya lo ben, once he had a son, hayat tzarich l'hasio isha, he had to take him a wife. In Hebrew, we have something called gematria, and that's the numerical value of the Hebrew letters. Every letter has a number that corresponds to that letter. So Aleph, the first letter of the alphabet, is 1. Bet, the second letter of the alphabet, is 2. Gimel is 3. Dalet is 4, and so on. The numerical value of the word bakol, let's figure out what it is. Bet is 2. Kaf is 20. Lamed is 30. So that equals 52. And the numerical value of the word for ben, son, is also 52, because bet is 2 and nun is 50. So Rashi says, the verse tells us Hashem blessed Avraham with everything. What's everything? A son. Because until Avraham had a son, he felt like he was incomplete. All his riches, peace, happiness really wasn't worth it to Avraham when he didn't have a son to pass it on to. Which is why when Hashem promises Avraham at the covenant of the halves, at the bris bein habsarim, that he will have wealth and all these great gifts, Avraham says, but what's the point? I don't have a child. Right now the person who's going to inherit from me is my servant. So Hashem says, don't worry, you also will have a child. So actually the servant who Avraham was worried was going to inherit him because he didn't have a son is now the same servant who is going to fulfill Abraham's mission to find a wife for Yitzchak. And this is significant Because if Yitzchak is unmarried, he's a son, which of course gives Avraham happiness, but Avraham doesn't know that Yitzchak's going to have a child. He doesn't know that his dynasty is going to continue. He doesn't know that the mission that he's entrusting to Yitzchak is really going to be passed on to future generations. So again, all his gifts aren't worth much as long as he doesn't have someone to pass it on. Now he has a son, so he'll pass it on to his son. But he wants to ensure that it doesn't stop with Yitzchak. It continues to the next generation. And that is why Avraham sends Eliezer, his servant, to find a wife for Yitzchak. Now we're also told that Avraham is old. And that's another reason why he sends Eliezer to find a wife